There we go. Hi, everybody. Here is our final night for our Opportunity to Grow Sweet 16. Hi, how are you? You look like you got scared there. Anyway, I'm excited to have worked with you these last 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and through there. And I'm hoping that you can share with me what you changed in a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about a skill that to me is the most important thing you can do with your business to grow it, okay? But I want you to be thinking about what you've done differently because of this program, okay? And your successes, and if there's been any obstacles that you've come across, this is going to be a very interactive phone call. So if there's been any obstacles you've come across that you want me to help you walk through, okay? But the skill I want to talk about tonight is consistency. Consistency is absolutely the most important thing I can teach you to not only have great bookings, great sales, and great recruiting. It's to be out there seeing enough people. And I've been trying to do a show a week, which is more than I normally do. But I've been getting out there, and it's been so much fun. And of course, I'm bringing too much stuff, and I have to send to get it back to the car because I'm for some reason I've been in some tiny homes, and so I'll just say, hey, we got the lettuce prepared. We don't need the salad spinner, anyway. But you know what I've been amazed at is people are having so much fun. And people are really, really enjoying the classes. Notice I use the word class or party. Don't call it a show anymore, okay? A show means you sit in a chair and you listen, right? When you go to the show, or the theater, what do? You watch someone. So I want to encourage you to make sure that you're real interactive with your people. And has anyone gone and looked at the show that I did on PC team training?
Yes, it was great. I just did one, just like it.
Did you? And did you have fun with it?
We had a lot of fun.
And
a little bit of pushback because the ladies were saying, well, we just got out of work, we're not working. And I always try to say that I like people to try a tool that they don't have so they can try something new.
Yeah.
And they can share about the tool that they already do have.
Sure.
And it actually gets, and I tell people, I said, it gets the tools in your hand. I said, it's different than just looking at a catalog, looking at something on the page. You're using it, you're holding it, you're making it work.
Yeah. And most people, when you think about it, most people that are working, they're usually sitting in a chair when they're working,
I had them all standing up around the counter.
Right. And it's only for about 20, 25 minutes,
It wasn't even that long. It was great. Yep.
It wasn't even that long? Good. So they enjoyed it in the end?
They did.
And you got bookings?
I did. Only got a few bookings. I have one very happy host, being June and all.
Yeah.
I would have liked more. I only got 2.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Well, develop those 2, Susan. You got to think of 2 as doubling your business. Okay? And they got to get dated. All right? And do you bring host packets to the...
I do bring host packets, and that's something I wanted to share with everyone, that just the fact of having the host packets ready means I'm ready to do future business.
That's right. That's right. And I have to say, I love those little folders that they came up with. Are you guys using those folders?
No, I don't.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen them.
You know what? They're a little pricey because they're $1. Well, I think they're $1 a piece. But you know what? It keeps everybody so organized, and it's fun, and it's energy because of all the stuff on the outside, the back side, the front side, the inside, and it just really, really keeps people. They walk out with their little folder and they're all excited. Okay. So I really think it's worth it. I mean, I know a lot of people, it's summertime, school stuff is going to be going on special. You can do that. But when I think about how much we pay for a coffee when we're out compared to, $4 for 4 folders for business supplies, I highly, highly recommend it. And it also looks very professional. And like I just put together 8 of them. I just put together 8 total. And then I send I email the specials for whatever month they choose.
Okay.
And then I email the recipes, okay? So it can be a there's no date involved with any of the host packets. It's only as if it's the current 6 months, the current season. Okay. So Janet, push your computer down just a touch. All I see is your glasses. There we go.
There I am.
There you are. Okay, I want to see your pretty face.
One thing I like about the new host folders, there's no need for a host party planner.
No, nope.
Everything's right there.
Everything's right there.
And I would rather spend the money to use those than to get the other folders I used to use.
Yeah. And I realized, some of that stuff was free before, but, it costs the company money to produce those. And so, and it's just another business tool. And if you don't use those, then what I would suggest is to make sure that when the Walmart and everything has their stuff on sale for the folders, go out and get some of those and fill them just like they say. So, because it's really very effective, okay? So let's talk about the benefits of consistency. It develops your skills because you're doing things over and over again, and you just get better and more comfortable with them, don't you? The more you're out there doing shows and the more that you're out there, what a cutie pie, I got somebody sticking their tongue out at me. That's all right. They're being really, really good sitting on your lap there. But it develops your skills just by doing something over and over and over again. And, people say to me all the time, you have such good words. Well, you know what? It's just because I've done it for so long, and I'm very, very comfortable with what I do. I believe in us. I believe in the product. I believe in the company. I believe we're changing lives, not only with a paycheck, but in people's kitchens. I just did a couples show on Friday night, and we had a ball. And the guys, hands down, bought more than the women did.
Yep.
You know what? We have to get more men to these shows. That's just all there's to it, okay? We have got to do more couple shows because men are cooking, especially we did those Italian meatball sliders. Have you guys tried those?
Mm-mm.
Oh, my gosh. The best hamburger I've ever tasted. I'm not kidding. It's 8 ounces of Italian sausage. They're in the season's best. 8 ounces of Italian sausage, a pound and a half of 90% lean. So they're not cheap to make, okay? But they go really a long way because it's a smaller burger. It has got Parmesan cheese and garlic and Italian breadcrumbs and fresh parsley from my garden. So it was, and an egg also in there. And then I made up meatballs as well as sliders. And what we did was we cooked a set of meatballs right with the sliders in the basket on the grill, okay? And you just turn them one and turn them the other. And what I told people is now if you were doing this at home, I would suggest you take the meatballs and put them for dinner for tomorrow night and then serve spaghetti and meatballs. And I've also been doing the zucchini linguine. Oh my gosh, it is worth the cost of the 4 zucchinis. I only had 5 couples at the show the other night. 3 of them bought spiralizers. 3. Yeah, 3 out of 5. That's a lot. That's a $62 product. Yep. And so just really want to encourage you to use it because I'm telling you, and the guys were all over it because they loved the way it tasted. I had one person also tell me that they use a stripper. And they use half pasta, half linguine, and then the marinara sauce. Okay, so she says it cuts the carbs in half, but still you get that spaghetti feel to it. So there's just another tip for you. But consistency really, really helps you be comfortable, be proud out loud, and be really feeling great about yourself because your business is working for you. There's so many benefits to consistency. You're getting a great paycheck. It's working for you, so you're not afraid to talk tell other people about it, right? You're not afraid to say, oh my gosh, well, it's not working for me, but maybe it'll work for you. You know what I mean? You have to believe it and experience success to get the other. I mean, people have recruited without ever trying to recruit, but for the most part, when you're actively recruiting, that's really, really important. They have shows on the calendar. They can come to a show for training. They can do, they can come just to see if they even want to do this or not. But I really highly encourage you to make sure the consistency keeps going as you've had it this last month, okay? Keep it going through the summer. And the summer shows, getting there at 6:30 and I'm done by 9. It's super fast and easy, you know? And that's, you know, cleaning up. I do my dishes there, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not dragging stuff inside the house to drag it back out to the car. So I do my dishes there, take my orders, and I was using the mobile app. How many use the mobile app?
I do.
Okay. Good. It was faster than I thought. Last year I was using it and I just was nothing but frustrated, but they've improved it a lot. I have to say they've improved it a lot. And some of the tech guys were at my last show, so that was fun. They were asking me all kinds of questions. So it conveys to your customers who may become your leads that you're a serious entrepreneur, okay? An entrepreneur and business owner is it's huge today. You know, when our children go to college, they're going to learn about being an entrepreneur. It's a really big deal, all right? So being an entrepreneur, do you feel like you're an entrepreneur? Or do you feel like you're just, you know, this person that plays around with this little business? Okay. You can make big money with this. Okay, you can make really, really big money. So I encourage you to feel like an entrepreneur. And most entrepreneurs don't make money in their first 5 years. They lose money in their first 5 years. And no one has to lose money in their first 5 years with Pampered Chef. Okay, so let's talk about consistency. How has it changed in your businesses since you've been doing this? What's different?
It's definitely become more consistent because the more I'm out there, the more people recognize me. If they think Pampered Chef, they're thinking of me.
Awesome. And Susan, are you doing the thing with the phone and having them put you in their phone as Pampered Chef Susan?
I haven't gotten that yet, but it's on my list to do.
Yeah, you know what? I even take my iPad and I'll put things I want to remember to say tonight.
Okay.
And I'll put it right on my little how can I say my table wherever I'm going to be set up, and I just say, now there's a few things, some little housekeeping I need to take care of. Mm-hmm. Okay, call it housekeeping, because nobody answers the phone of someone that they don't have in their phone.
Right.
So you
need to get it out of my mouth.
Yeah, you need to get in your phone. But thank you for being honest. And then how about, are you asking them to go to their Facebook page and say, I'm at a Pampered Chef show?
That's a wonderful idea.
Does anybody need anything?
Mm-hmm. I did ask that.
Did you?
Yes.
Good.
I did ask.
All right. Good. And people did come back and said they had friends that they asked if they could take the catalog, and they had friends that added to the show. Awesome. And that's, if you got someone that's big on Facebook, ask them if they want to do a virtual show, if they don't want to do a regular show. Okay. Or not show, party, a regular class. Okay. Old dog, new tricks, right? Mm-hmm. Areas where consistency builds your business. If you want to build a team, a strong business, a sustainable income, you have to show up for work. Okay. And that's, by being disciplined and getting to your desk and making your phone calls, or sitting in your car when you're waiting for the kids. Wherever you want to do it, you're more than welcome to do it. It just needs to get done. And by scheduling yourself and taking it seriously. Now, a lot of people just came back from a wonderful trip in Atlantis. Did you guys see those pictures?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wasn't it amazing? There isn't any reason that all of us shouldn't be in Riviera Maya. People have already earned Riviera Maya in the first 6 months of the year. And the best 6 months of the year are coming, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the last 4 months, we do 45% of our business in the last 4 months of the year. So why don't we just really purpose to do and to recruit? Think of it this way. If your show average is $750, okay, which is a good show average, higher than the Pampered Chef average show average. If that is your show average, one recruit is equivalent to 4 parties.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, one recruit, when they qualify with their $1,250, is equivalent to going out and doing 4 shows when it comes to points for your trips. So that's a great way. Just think, if you recruited, let's just say 6 people over the next 6 months and qualified them, that's only 1 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That is 18,000 points towards your trip. That's a lot, isn't it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And remember about the numbers. If you're out there twice a week, you're going to see about 100 people in a month. Now, there's no reason that we shouldn't be recruiting 2, 3, 4 of those people. I guarantee you 4 people out of 100, 1 out of 25 needs money, a night out, or something to build for themselves. Okay, I guarantee it. We have to talk about it. We have to be emboldened and to do it, you know, and to offer it, and to not be afraid of the no thank you. I taught you how to handle no thank yous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Now, when and the number of parties held each week and each month are it's super important to be consistent with that. The recruiting interviews and appointments. Are you trying to get 3 to 4 recruiting interviews and appointments from each show? Okay, because when you do that, odds are you're going to recruit some people. All right, just by practicing that recruiting interview over and over and over again. And the first one should always be with your host. Okay, you should be trying to see if your host wants to join you. Okay, excuse me, networking, not with each other, but by joining social activities where you can meet new people who will become future leads for shows and for your team, okay? So are you involved outside of your little network of family and friends and neighborhood, okay? Yes. It's really important to, you know, go join the Kiwanis or the Lions Club, or, the Junior Women's League. Offer to be a speaker for coffee breaks at church, or a MOPS group. Teach them how to do, 10 at a time. I'm going to Pennsylvania the week after conference, and I'm doing 2 shows there. One for my friend's church. We're doing 10 at a time, and we're giving away the 10 meals, okay, to people that are coming. And then I'm doing a show. I'm doing a show on Tuesday, and then the 10 at a time class on Saturday. So, and that's just a few hours out of my time, but it's a great way for me to do that, because it not only gives me business, it gets me in another part of the country, but secondly, it's all tax deductible when I go to visit my girlfriend. Okay.
Where at in Pennsylvania, Nancy Jo?
I am going to Three Springs, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour and a half north of Harrisburg.
Okay.
Yeah, an hour and a half north of Harrisburg. But my sister's coming with me, and we're just going to take a few days and have some fun. But I'm going to work too while I'm there. And every time when I go by Barb now, I know I'm going again in the fall. But I'm going to come and do a big loop in the fall again on the East Coast. And I'm going to end up, back there visiting Melissa Roscoe and some of my other directors there. And, I just love going there. And I've already got a booking for October. Okay. So don't be afraid to let people know it doesn't have to be next week. Right? Don't be afraid. Okay.
Make sure when you go to Three Springs to shoot down to Lancaster, that's big quilt country.
It is. She's about 2 hours from Lancaster. Yeah. In fact, there was one weekend we had just literally we were driving from here to there. I drove, and we had there was the last day of a big quilt weekend in Lancaster. It was their big quilt show. And I just said, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine sitting in another 2 hours, you know, because we just got in at about midnight and it would be the last day. So you know that they don't go the whole day, you know. So I says, nope, we'll catch it next time. We'll catch it next time. So will you have a no excuses mindset? Okay. You know, we teach that to our kids, and we teach that to, in so many other areas of our life, we have a no excuses mindset. It says, I will be consistent no matter what. Now, each one of us are consistent in our own, and we hold the consistent measuring stick is what I'm trying to say. You all have your own lives and what you do. So I'm not telling you what you absolutely have to do. I'm telling you what makes my business successful. From the beginning, I did 2 shows a week. I had no idea how important that would be. And, you know, and you guys, if we did it back then we were so expensive. Do you know that our vegetable peeler stayed the same price for 15 years? They could get a stainless steel vegetable peeler by Echo for 89 cents, and we were charging $3.50. So I'm telling you, it was hard to sell. We were unknown. We were expensive. There was no exclusivity to our products, okay? It was tough. It was tough to do business back then, all right? But I'm telling you, now what we have going for us is amazing. It's just amazing. And it's really up to us to make the most of it. And I'll tell you, I feel like we're on a real resurgence. Numbers are up for months this year. There's only been two months that have been a little down. Every other month has been up. Last month it was up 11.3% for my team. And usually as I go, the company goes. Because I have people all over the country. I have people all in 50 states. So if there's any issues with any areas, I've got people in those areas. They're going to feel it, you know, for storms and weather and flooding and, you know, just all those different kind of things. But I'm telling you, it's really going well, and I'm so excited for Pampered Chef and what we're bringing to people. And the salad in a jar thing, that's huge. I did a show a week ago Thursday, and I had 8 people there. It was $1,127 show from 8 people, and 4 of them bought the salad in a jar. So 4 of them. And I know, and I got 3 bookings out of from those 8 people, okay? And I know that those people are going to buy all the rest of the things in more jars when they have their shows, okay? So it's really fun. I've been giving my host, I give them a choice. You can either do the salad, just the jar, not the whole setup, just the jar, salad in a jar, or they can get a full-size cookbook from me for free as a thank you, okay? And I just put it right on their order, all right? The first few, I was just, you know, I have one that I show them. Now people have been eating like crazy, so I don't even want to build it in there because it takes too much for that big quart out of the salad if we're only making one recipe. So now for the rest of them, I'm just going to show them the jar, tell them how to do it, and then I'll add it on their order so that they get it with the rest of them. Hey, there's stars. He's got stars on your booty. There you go. Okay. Replace excuses with effort. Replace laziness with determination, and everything else will fall into place. Sometimes, yeah, I feel lazy sometimes. Sometimes I just want to chill out. But you know what? And I do when I need to. Okay, we all need to do that. We all need to rest. All right. But there's times where we have to call a spade, don't we? Especially just about not doing what we're supposed to do. You know, we teach our kids to do that. We tell our husband, we got to do this, we got to do this. But what are we doing to fulfill what we need to do for our businesses? So I want to encourage you to replace excuses with effort, replace laziness with determination, and everything else will fall into place. I promise. What activities do you need to do to become more consistent in the above areas? Tell me what you're doing really well, and tell me what you got to work on.
I've been doing better with customer outreach.
Good.
Starting this, I haven't been doing the 5 a day. I'm off on Wednesdays, so I get the brunt of my calls done on Wednesday with the 2-year-old. So it works out better that way. So that way I can do like maybe 3 calls on Monday and then maybe a call or 2 on Tuesday and, do the rest that way.
Sure.
But doing the customer outreach a lot better now with either a customer email or a quick text saying, hey, I was thinking of you. How are you liking your new products you just got?
Sure.
Has helped out. I have 3 shows that are almost to closing out, and they're all $500 shows right now.
Good.
It definitely helped. Just that little thank you or the just thinking of you has definitely just bumped it up because they see how excited I am that they can't wait to get their hands on the products and have them in their home.
Awesome. I'm so proud of you. Good for you. Good for you. That's awesome. That's awesome. You're putting it into practice.
Trying to.
Good. No, you're doing it. You're not trying. You're doing it. Okay. Give yourself a pat on the back. Do this. You're doing it. Good for you. Good for you. And it's not about perfection, you guys, because if we're going for perfection, nobody's going to get there. We're not going to be perfect till we get to heaven. Okay. So let's just keep doing what we know to do that works. So you're doing it. Good for you. Good for you. Anybody else want to share? Oh, I heard somebody. Is that somebody on the phone that would like to share? Oh, maybe just a puppy. Well, what activities do you need to do to become more consistent? Now that you've been through this class, you've heard a lot of ideas. What else do you need to do? What's one thing you need to do that you're going to work on?
I'm going to work on my host coaching.
Host coaching. Wait, who said that?
I did.
Okay, Susan. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to work on your host coaching.
I am. I've seen it's up and down. It's hot and cold. And I think that I need to not assume that they know everything I want them to do. I listened to another training that you did where you were sitting and you did a host coaching, and it was just like I've seen it before, but I think the light bulb just went off that it was like you really laid everything out on the line. And I think I was concerned with taking up the other person's time, but by not taking the time to do that, then I was disappointed with the results.
Right.
Okay.
And if they're asking you to do this, they want to have a successful show. That's how I look at this.
And that's how you presented it, and you were consistently present. So I'll watch it again, but you did really inspire me to take that time and say insert myself, if you will,
Sure.
But not assume that they really know what to do.
Good. And, for those of you that work full-time, there's a service out there called Margo, Marketing on the Go. Mm-hmm. And it's, you can pay depends on how many shows you do. You can pay $10 for the month, and then you just pay $5 for each show you do. Okay. Or you can do just $10 a show. Okay. And what that does, it's a service I use just because for me to get people's address and send out invitations and do all that kind of stuff, I don't have time to do that. But they will actually send out the invitations. What happens is what I do is I tell my host, I've got this great service that I work with. It's called Margo. It's Marketing on the Go. And what it's going to do is it's going to do all the busy work for us. Okay. I know you're busy and I'm busy. And all you're going to have to do is put in people's names. It's connected to the white pages, and it clicks right with the white pages. You click and say, okay, that's my friend. And it fills in all the information for all the addresses and the phone numbers, and then they only have to put in their emails. Now, some people, they don't have their addresses, some people, they don't have their phone numbers, some people, they don't have their emails. But what ends up happening is we have something on everyone, mm-hmm. And then like the August 4th show I'm doing, I just set her up, and all the invitations are going, like she put all her stuff in 30 minutes, it was done, okay? So Now that's going to make it really easy for me when I go to do the show, because I'm going to transfer all the information.
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm also, it sends out emails, it sends out texts, it gives a socialgram and an invitation to put on Facebook. It does it all for you.
Okay.
It does it all for you. And you just tell the dates of when you want it done. And it even has the phone reminder included in the cost. And you can make up to 3 phone calls. You can do a save the date, you can do a reminder call, and then what they call a post campaign. And I've known people to get up to $500 in sales after the show for people who couldn't make it. And that phone call sounds like this. Hi, we missed you. Or, hi, thank you for those who came to Susan's show last night. We really had fun making the Southwest Cobb salad. For those of you that couldn't come, I just want to say there's still time for you to order. You can go to and then you tell them the URL, okay? Go to pamperedchef.com to my website, put in her name, or just type in pamperedchef.com/go, and you just tell them what it is, all right? And I always change the URL just to their name, okay? So it's really easy.
Nancy Jo, is that you recording that? Or
Yes.
Is it,
The consultant has to record it. So what I'll do is I'll say, Susan Napiani, just ask me to give you a call to remind you about the show tomorrow night. We're going to do the Southwest Cobb salad. So you say the person's name right away, because that's going to, and then you tell it when you want it to go out, 10 a.m. in the morning kind of thing. But it's really, really slick. And what's really cool is they have scripts right in there for you. So all you need to do is read it. I put a little more into it because I want them to know what we're going to make, and it's a hands-on show. We're going to make the food together. I'm just going to read the recipe. You're going to get to work all the products. So we're going to have a lot of fun together. It's very interactive, and you're going to be able to try out the Pampered Chef products and see what you like the best. And then after the show, it's, thank you, Susan, and I would like to thank you for coming tonight or last night to the show. And we had just a great time. We made Southwest Cobb salad, and we made apple cranberry cobbler. And I want you to know we missed you, for those of you that couldn't come. But there is still time to order, or if you'd like to book your own show, just feel free to call me directly. But what it does is it just reminds people that they can still order, and they don't have to feel bad about not coming, but there's still time to order. And they always go back, and people have thanked me for the reminder call, because they said, oh my gosh, I forgot totally about it, because we send out the invitations 3 weeks ahead of time.
Right.
Okay. And so, but what it does is it's doing all the stuff that I didn't do. I didn't do texting. I didn't do Facebook. I didn't, do the email. I sent out the invitations. And what I tell people is if you put in 40 or more names, I will pay for the postage.
Right.
Okay. So if you put in 28, I'll let you know how much you owe me. You can have a check ready to go for me the night of your show. Okay. Or the night of your party. When they send out 40 invitations, you guys, I guarantee you that $20 that I'm spending in postage, I'm getting back threefold for the extra people that are going to come. And Pampered Chef has found that 12 guests at a show will give you 12 buying guests at a show. Not the outside orders, not the pre-orders, because you're going to get some of those. But if you have 12 buying guests at a show, that show will be $1,000. So 40 names, I'm having 12 people, no problem. And my party average is over $1,300 a night, you guys. That $20 in postage that I spend and making it so easy on my host, and then I know that they went out and they're a half-page glossy card, and you pick what you want on it. It's really easy. Yes, it can cost up to $10, and then plus your postage, and you don't have to pay for postage. You can ask your host for the postage. It's not a problem. But what it does is it really works. Now, they do have another way to do it also, that you don't send out the invitations, but you do the email, the texting, the socialgram, and the phone bite. Okay, I think the phone is in there too, and then it's only $5. But I highly, highly recommend it. It's really, especially if you're not doing it all, if you're not getting to it. And for those of you that work outside the home or have super busy lives during the day, it is worth every penny. I promise you. I promise you. So, right, the other thing, 3 ways to develop and nurture a pattern of consistency is to daily journal and log. Did you guys did anybody do that? Remember I was telling you to write down the things you were doing? What was that experience like for you?
It helped.
Go ahead. Did it help you?
It helped me realize I'm not doing what I need to do.
Did it?
Yeah.
It's kind of scary how much we think about it, but we don't do it, isn't it?
Right. I thought I was doing more than I actually was. And by journaling what I was actually doing, it made me realize where I'm lacking.
Good. So then it was an exercise that showed you, oh gosh, I can fix this, right?
Right. Exactly. So
Absolutely.
It allowed me to schedule my time better, and schedule my children better.
Good.
They're home from school and getting back to the consistency that I need.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you for doing that. Because, I'm giving you guys a lot of things to do, but I don't know if you're really doing them or not because I'm not having you. It's a total honor system. So thank you. Who else did that? And yeah, why don't you share? What did you see?
It definitely helped me with my time management because I do work a full-time job Monday through Friday, just being off Wednesday. So that's 10-hour days the other days.
Sure.
So being able to have it wrote down on a day-to-day basis and be able to be like, okay, well, I know this chunk is out due to work. So I got to where I was actually doing a few things on my lunch break.
Sure.
Just that way I could make sure, I can schedule this here. It only takes 5 minutes to do. And then I still have the whole rest of my lunch break to actually depress after, being at work. So it definitely helped out being able to fit a few more things in. I've been doing PC University a lot more.
Good.
And it just helps reiterate things I already know, but like Susan was saying, like, I know, but sometimes it doesn't fully click until you start, rewatching it and be like, oh yeah, I knew that, but it slipped my mind whenever I'm actually at a show. So
Awesome. 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 Good. Good for you. Good for you. Anybody else try that? Did anybody else do any logging?
I was doing some logging, and I've kind of gotten behind, but I had been out of town for a week and trying to get back into the fold, and then we had something last night. So it's just
Sure.
it's been a crazy month, and some other things happened that I had some complications with, and so it's just been a crazy month. But I have a show on Tuesday. She's got about 10 to 12 coming,
Good.
and I told her, well, if it's okay with you, tell everyone to bring a guest.
Sure.
And I said, just add to your sales.
Yeah. Good.
So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for another $1,000 show this month.
Nice. Good.
I'm
Good
keeping my fingers crossed.
Good. And there's the pre-conference. There was a reminder call. The pre-show. There's a reminder call. There's lots of things you can do to make sure that show's a success.
She's going to do those tomorrow.
Good. Good. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else that's on the call want to share? Okay. Review and assess your good and bad habits. Whether you've done it yet or not, you can still do it for yourself, okay? All these things I've been teaching you are things that I've learned through the years how to assess how I'm doing in any of the areas. So you can do it at any time at all. And even, again, and I'm throwing a lot at you guys, so even if you do one thing consistently for a month and it becomes a great habit, then add another thing and it becomes a great habit. Okay. Personal growth, adding activities that will help you grow personally. PC University, like you just said, PC Team Training website, listen to motivational CDs, read motivational books. If you haven't read Take the Stairs by Rory Vaden, or the Slight Edge book by, I got 3 copies of it. I love this book. Someone gave it to me, and then I did it as a class. Jeff Olson, The Slight Edge. Excellent book. In fact, I like this one even better than Take the Stairs, okay? Because this talks about doing things just a little bit more just a little bit more, making an extra phone call. Instead of stopping at 3, make an extra one till you get to that 4th person. And it talks over and over and over again about success stories that people did so much and they were okay, but when people did just a little bit more, they just soared. They just soared. And it's a super easy read. And I know Barb, my assistant, has been reading Dale Carnegie. How
to win friends and influence people.
There you go. How to win friends and influence people. Old book, but she's amazed.
Very old.
But she's amazed. Well, Warren Buffett said that book changed his life. So if it's good enough for Warren Buffett, guys, let me tell you.
Good enough for us. Yes.
And it's really, really, in fact, Barb even downloaded it for $2.99. Only it reads, instead of turning pages this way, it turns pages this way. So she said, it doesn't matter to me how I turn the page on my iPad, Anyway, but she said it's an amazing read. And think of it this way. If you read 10 pages a day,
Yep.
10 pages takes no time at all.
Yep.
Okay, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
10 pages a day, you will read how many books? If your book has 200, or say 300 pages in it, you're going to read 3,650 pages. You're going to be able to read 12 books in a year.
Easily.
Yeah, easily. And that's if they've got 300 pages.
Yep.
I try to read a spiritual book and then a business book. Okay. Like I just picked up, my mom is very close to going to heaven. And she's 91. She's lived a long life, but she's near the end. And my sister Jackie and I are doing our very best to take care of her. And I just read the book Heaven is for Real, about the little 4-year-old that died on the table and then came back. And he was telling his mom and dad about where they were in the hospital. He met a baby. I met my sister in heaven. They had never told him that they had a miscarriage 5 years before 4 or 5 years before he was born. It's an amazing book. You guys want to be encouraged in your spiritual life? Read Heaven is for Real. And it's this big. I mean, seriously, it's a super little book, but it's a true story about a little boy, and his account of what was there was just amazing, just amazing. So I've been sharing it with my mom because I know she's afraid. She's afraid to die. And so I've been sharing it with my mom and just sharing the different things that this little boy said because he experienced it. And his dad is a pastor, and his dad said, I never told him about that. I didn't talk to him about this. And I'm sure Sunday school class didn't talk to him. He's 4, he's not 19. You know what I mean? I challenge you, read the book, you'll be encouraged. Or how about taking a class? Do they have some cooking classes at your local park district? Or really become a student of, try baking, really truly baking, okay, for a month. Try to make something, once or twice a week for a month and really learn. Baking is a science, and its exact measurements are really, really important, where cooking is an experience. You can nudge the ingredients with cooking, but baking, you put in too much baking soda, you're in trouble. Okay. So, but whatever is interesting to you. If you want to be, you learn about healthy hors d'oeuvres, all that kind of thing is going to turn around and give you more to talk about at your shows, at your parties. Whoops. Somebody just lost dinner. There we go. Anyway, so take a class, do something fun for yourself that has to do with food. All right. Or even just watch, if you like a certain, the Pioneer Woman or Giada or Rachel Ray, take a half an hour and watch them once or twice or 3 times a week and learn from them and learn why they do things the way they do it. I mean, they have a show for a reason, okay? Here's something that's really important. Don't seek perfection, because seek to practice opportunities and just get started. So many times, I'm a procrastinator because I'm a perfectionist. I won't start something because I can't finish it. I don't have the time to finish it well. And then I'm always living in the urgent. I mean, that's something that I'm trying to break myself of. I try really, really hard. I don't have to finish it. I just have to get it started, And so that's something for me that, as you can imagine, I have a lot on my platter. I don't have a plate, I have a platter, okay? And it's constantly, what do I need to do next? What do I need to do next, But it's really, really important that I do the things that are income producing and the things that are going to really help my business. There's so many things I could be busy with that doesn't make a difference in the world, okay? So I want to encourage you that there are things that are income producing, and touching as many people as you can, meeting as many new people, offer to serve in an area that that you're going to meet some people. You guys, there's plenty to do. There's plenty to do, and to get into some new people too. Get into some new people and hold classes at your homes. It's really, really important. Tony Robbins says, it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives. It's what we do consistently. Again, another brilliant man. I mean, I've never seen him in person. I don't really know that I want to. I hear he's got a real vulgar mouth on him, so I don't think I'd like that. But he's one of the top trainers in this country, in the world, period. But it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives. It's what we do consistently. And I want to bring it back to when I first started. I had no idea what I was doing. You guys, I sat at a desk for my job, for my living. I was an accountant. And accountants don't sell things, okay? So I'm like an oxymoron. Really, really scared about being pushy and really, really scared. All those things that people talk about, I experienced, I understand. But what became more prevalent for me was, my husband and I sat down and we agreed to 2 nights a week. And that was really, really important because it set a boundary for me, okay? But it also set a schedule for me. He knew that if I loved something, when I started sewing, he saw material for months. He didn't, he just saw material, and I'd be so excited. Look what I got today. Anyway, but you know what? He knows me. He knew me, and it was really important that we sat down at the beginning of this adventure that I was only going to do for 2 months. I was just going to do it for 2 months for Christmas money. And God totally blessed it and blessed me through it. And I could have never dreamed this big. And that's why I know it's for anyone, because I was not a candidate to be a superstar, all right? I had low self-esteem. I mean, I'm telling you, everything was on the wrong side of the scale for the pros and cons, okay? Which, of course, I made a list of that too, because that's what accountants do. But what I found is I loved getting out of the house once or twice a week. Well, and I shouldn't say once. It was twice a week. I was very consistent. And I mean, there were certain weeks where I only did it once, and then I had 3 the next because somebody rescheduled. But I learned how to do that too. And by me sending out the invitations, that was really important because you know what? I controlled whether that party was happening or not. And it's so funny. Since I started sending out invitations probably 6 or 8 years ago, it's so funny how there's so many less grandmothers that are sick. Anybody hear that excuse? Oh, my grandma went in the hospital. I can't have my party. You know what? If people are coming, they're hosting the show. If they didn't send out their invitations or not enough of them, if they didn't send them out on time or not enough of them, the show is canceling. Okay? So I took control of that and everything changed. If I have one reschedule in a year or 2. 2 years, not 2 in a year, but in 2 years, that's all I have. And it's not because I'm special. They don't know. I am Nancy Jo, kitchen consultant with them. I am not National Senior Executive Director with the Pampered Chef, okay? Because you know what? They don't care. They don't care. They don't know what that is, and they don't care, all right? They just want someone that's down to earth, having fun, relating with their people, and making all their guests feel comfortable, and more importantly, just relax and have fun, all right? It doesn't have to be off a script. So I don't want you to seek perfection in what I'm telling you to do. I want you to seek learning skills and doing things over and over till perfection just comes, because it's a normal thing that comes out of your mouth. It's a normal thing that you do every day. It's a normal thing that you expect 2 bookings at every show. Okay, you expect it because that's normal. All right. Now
And you're ready for it.
You're ready for it because you have your host packets with you. And every time you hand somebody a host packet, what you need to say to yourself is, I just saved $6.80.
Great.
I just saved $6.80. So by having it there in that little folder that only cost $1, and you put 4 catalogs in there, so that's $2, okay? So by doing it that way, you're saving yourself money by spending the $1 and being organized, okay? My mother always used to tell me, don't be penny wise and dollar foolish, okay? Think you're saving a few cents here, but then you don't make the money over here because you haven't spent it over here. So invest in your business for the things you need. Get ready for business. Be ready for success. I always have my stuff in the car too. I keep my bag in the car. I don't keep my computer in the car, but I keep my bag in the car. So that if somebody wants a catalog or wants to host a show, no problem. Let me go to my car. I'll be right back. Always ready for business. You guys, it just takes a little piece of your car. Just a little, one of those files, those files, those tall little file things. You can be ready to go in a minute.
Nancy Jo,
Yeah.
I purchased the tote from Merrill.
Uh-huh.
It has an open pocket in the back where you can put catalogs.
Okay.
And while I was out of town at this convention in Indianapolis,
Mm-hmm.
I handed out a couple catalogs. I even got an order from a friend in New York.
See that?
I always keep at least 3 to 4 catalogs in there. Does it make it a little bit heavier? Sure. But if someone says, "Oh, do you have a catalog?" Sure, here.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to hand them what's the best 50-cent advertisement I can give them.
Absolutely. Now, if I can add to what you're saying is make sure, and I'll send you guys, or how many of you are going to conference? Okay. You guys make sure you come up and see me. I'm going to have some little packets that the host, or I should say anyone you meet along the way can fill out, and you can attach it to any catalog, to Taste the Good Life, anything like that. You want to make sure you get their information back. Because you know what? When you hand out 50 cents, you just wasted 50 cents if you don't get anything back.
Mm-hmm.
What I always tell people is you know what? I have special events, and let me take your information so you can know about them. Sometimes I have online sales. Sometimes I let my hosts know when there's or I should say my preferred customers know when there's a super sale on the outlet. So you want to make sure you give me your email, phone number, and address. Okay? I promise I won't bug you. My newsletter only goes out once a month. And it always has a great recipe and some tips and ideas, and it'll tell you the specials if you're interested. Never have a problem. Again, because I say it with confidence and an expectation in my voice, mm-hmm. People just do it. They do what you want them to do. I never have a problem. I was talking to a very, very successful Pampered Chef person in Wisconsin. And I mean, she does a ton of shows. She's a super seller, super recruiter. She's an executive. She just got back to Atlantis, and her and I had a great conversation last night on the phone. And she says, "Oh, I can't get people to give me their addresses." And I tell her, I says, I let people know by the end of your show, I'm going to have their address, their email, and their phone number because that's how they warranty the products. So if you can't give me that information, then it's going to be tough for you to put it in order. Okay? So they won't be able to get a hold of you if something is ever, goes wrong with their product. Okay? And we've only had 2 recalls in the history of Pampered Chef, but they want to be prepared. Because if I ever go out of business, my customers shouldn't have to be screwed because I'm not in business anymore, right?
Right.
Pampered Chef is getting all that information so they can service those people in the future if they ever need to. So I just want to encourage you to do things the right way. And like when I travel, Janet, I always have my rolling bag with me, okay? It has that same Pampered Chef pouch in the front. I have people, airline professionals, the flight attendants, pilots. I have people from all over the country that order from me every few months because of that bag. And in fact, I've even had one lady come down. She goes, somebody had a Pampered Chef bag. Who was it? She goes, oh my gosh, I've been searching for a Pampered Chef person. Because not everybody wants to just put an order in online without knowing who it is. They don't know that we don't see the credit card numbers and stuff like that. So it's, and by the way, let me talk about your website and then I'll be wrapping this all up. Your website is very, very important. Okay. I just asked a gal from downtown Chicago just called me and said, customer wants to contact you. And so I called her and she wanted to book a show. So this is my August 4th show that she booked. And I says, yeah, I'm always curious because I'm not by her. I'm an hour away. So it's not like she picked me because of location. All right. I says, I'm always curious. I know you went to the website. This is what made you choose me. She said, I liked your picture. You looked friendly. I says, oh, I better do my hair the same that night, huh? She started laughing, But no, seriously, what does your picture look like on your website? Do you have one up there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Have you told your little story why you're passionate about your business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it shouldn't be 3 pages long, guys. It should be a 15-second, 20-second read. That's it. All right. But I've never met this person, and of course, because it had a Chicago address, I called my nephew who lives in the city. I says, Brian, is this a safe place to go? Because there's certain places you shouldn't be in the city of Chicago, and I've never met this person. So I always believe in safety first, and he says, absolutely. And Nancy says, in fact, he says, you can park my car and I'll drive you over. I'm only about 8 blocks from where she lives. So anyway, but I check things out. I make sure, because I live in a big city and you don't take chances, but what I'm saying to you is everything is in your control. Everything is in your control. When you've done the things you need to do, you can have peace about what comes from it, about the outcome. Okay. And that's what this is all about. It's about teaching you to have confidence, have peace, and have the energy to put in your business to know that you're making a difference in people's lives, not only your life, but others. And, any one of us can be a superstar in this business. And if you've ever been to conference, you know what I mean. You see every type of person walking that stage, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the young. It's not just the old. It's not just anything. It's everyone. Every person is included when you see the people walking the stage. And that alone should give you the energy to say, I too can succeed and be anything I want in this business. Anything. I had to borrow a dress the first time I went to conference. I did not own a dress. And I shared that when I spoke with Doris to the direct selling industry. I spoke when I was 11 years in the business, and my team had just done 20 million in sales at 11 years, working 2 nights. In my first 6 years, I worked 2 nights a week, and then I went down to 1 night a week. But I want you to know, I couldn't have dreamed this big, you guys. And I showed a picture of me at that conference, and I borrowed my mom's dress. It wasn't even fashionable. It wasn't even cute, okay? You know, I wanted all those professionals. And the DSA, when they have their meeting, it's all the owners of the companies, the vice presidents, the CEOs. I mean, the owners of Amway were there, Longaberger, Tupperware. I mean, everybody who was anybody in the industry, they do not miss this meeting. This is their once a year big meeting. And Doris was asked to speak because her company had grown so much. And they asked her to have one of her choice of one of her top people to come and speak with. And there was one other company they did that. And we had absolutely the worst spot on the agenda that we could have had. It was on the second day at 4:30. And so everybody's tired, right? They got the big gala that night. And we get to speak after the guy that's climbed Mount Everest. Just kill me. Just kill me. I says, oh my God, they're not going to even listen. You know? But you know what? We spoke for 30 minutes. We tag teamed. We went back and forth. And she spoke, then I spoke, then she spoke, then I spoke. And what was really, really amazing is afterwards, people stood in line for over an hour wanting to meet me and shake my hand. They were asking me to come and speak at their conferences. And Doris was very protective. She goes, oh, she can't do that. Oh, she can't do that. Thank you very much, but she can't do that, you know. And she was very smart to protect her assets, okay. But I want you to know that it's probably the greatest honor I've ever had was that she chose me out of thousands of people to speak with her and to represent the Pampered Chef. And I wanted them to know that what we do in direct sales, we change lives. We give confidence to people that never dreamed that they could earn an income like this. I mean, think about it. You don't even have to have a high school degree. 18 to 80. I mean, it doesn't matter what your zip code is. You can be a success with the Pampered Chef. It's all up to you. It's not what your background is. It's not what your education, what your race, anything. It's not where you live. It's not your zip code. Some of my most successful people live in the total country, okay? Total country, all right? I mean, rural areas is what I mean by country. I want to encourage you guys to dream for you and your family bigger than you know how, all right? Whether it's an empty nester like Susan and she's building for her future and she has all the time in the world, or one square down, someone, you know, bouncing twins, right? You know? I started when I was 27 years old. I had no idea, or 28 years old, excuse me. I had no idea what was in front of me. But I do know for all of you what could be in front of you. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, look in my back pictures. You're going to be amazed. I look better today than I did 20 years ago. And it's not because of anything other than confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence. I'm confident in what I'm doing, and you can be too. Get built up from the inside out. Pray and ask the Lord to bless your business. I do that all the time. And I know He's given it to me. I know I've put work into it. Don't get me wrong. But I know He's blessed it. Ask Him to bless your business if you're a praying person, and do what you need to do to have a business. Pretend like you've invested $100,000 instead of $159,000. What would you do differently if you invested $100,000? Would anybody do anything different?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. You would, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
People that invest $100,000 into a business sometimes never make $50,000 in a year. I made $100,000 in my 4th year, and today those numbers would have been double because of our party average. Our party average back then was only $275 a night. Now it's over $600. So all those numbers would have been double. So look at what you have in front of you. I look at Ashley Vollmer. I'm going to be speaking with her on the opportunity call on Tuesday night. And Ashley is 23 years old. She's only been in the business 3 years. She recruited over 20 people last year. She has earned every trip and excellence from her first year. And she can't even rent a car, you guys. She's not old enough to rent a car. All right. But she is doing things, and she just promoted to advanced director, and she may promote this month to senior director. Yeah. Does she know everything that you and I know? Does she have the experience? Absolutely not. But she has the belief. She believes she's making a difference. She loves what she does, and she works it really hard. So I want to encourage you, just dream a big dream and go after your dream. Ask the Lord to bless it, and do what you know that you need to do to be a success. And then rest in it. I was never striving for all the stuff that I received because I didn't know. No one had done what I did. No one. So I didn't know what was in front of me. You all know and have a picture. You see people all the time that are super successful. And it's almost never more than 2 nights a week in sales. Almost never. And quite honestly, I wouldn't encourage you to do more than 2 nights, because 2 nights is balance. You have enough time to get to take care of your family first, okay? And then secondly, you have enough time to follow up with all your leads and all your shows and recruit leads and bookings, okay? You have enough time to do a business when you do 2 shows consistently. Now, there is 31 days in a month, not 28. There's only 1 month with 28. So when I say 2 shows a week, it's really 9 shows a month, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. It's 9 shows a month. It's because every third month has an extra week in it. So make sure you're putting those extra, that you're booking 2 shows a week. That is what is key. You'll see enough people to get enough future bookings, enough future sales, and most importantly, enough people that you'll find people walking up to you and say, I'd like to do this. Has anybody had that happen to them? Has anybody had someone walk up to them and say, I want to do this? Mm-mm. No?
Not yet.
Well, get ready. Don't say, really? I want you to be ready and act like it happens every day, because it will happen. And remember, at the very beginning of my business, because I was only going to be here 2 months. I don't know if I shared this with you or not, but I was only going to be here 2 months, so I didn't want anything to do with the recruiting end of the business, because I didn't want to be a boss. I'd been a boss, and I knew the responsibilities, and I knew I was leaving in 2 months. But what was really interesting is I did some research. For a while there, I held on to everything. I did some research, and I looked back at every single one of those shows the first 2.5 months of my business. I started September 11th. I did my first show at the end of September, and I worked till the first week of December. Not one time did anyone mark the box that they wanted information about doing the business. Not once. Had all kinds of bookings. I had 72 leads that I did not take care of at the end of that nine weeks that people wanted shows. 72. A lot of people were marking the box about hosting a show. Not one did mark the box about doing the business. Okay? Now, did the business change, or did I change come January when I decided I was going to stay? From my very first show, I changed. From my very first show back in January, remember I was going to quit. I went to my sales meeting, and I said to my husband at the time, I said, oh my gosh, I'm throwing away a business. I have 72 people that want to have shows. And I had them all organized by city. You know how accountants get all anal about things. So anyway, I was just going to give them to the girls at the sales meeting. I was going to say goodbye. And Rich and I talked, and he said, Nance, it's really okay if you want to keep doing it. It looks like you're having fun. And as long as you keep it to 2 nights a week. So I went to my sales meeting. I did give some of those names out, because there was no way I could do 72 shows, because every show had more shows. Okay. So, think of a bigger mentality when you start getting more than you can handle. tell people I need help, okay? And from my very first show back, I had my first recruit. And in 3.5 weeks, I had 5 recruits, okay? So 1 month from right now, you could be promoting as a director. And it's easier to promote as a director today than it was back then. Because back then, every single person had to have done $12.50 in sales. They all had to be active, and you all had to do $4,000 in sales. Now remember, our party average was $275. So how many shows was that compared to today, where the $1,000 show is not unusual? You see what I'm saying? Now, all you need to do is have 5 people active. Active means $150 in sales. If you're doing your 2 shows a week, guess what? You're going to handle almost the whole $5,000 yourself just by those 2 shows. So say you have a $500 party average, that's $4,000 in sales when you do 8 shows. And you know a couple of them are going to be higher than average, right? So think about it. If each one of those people, those 5 people each do $200 in sales and you do $4,000, you're going to be a director. And then to keep directorship, we had to have 5 active every other, they had to be active turning in sales every other month.
Right.
Now, you just have to have 5,000 in sales. Whether you do it or you and 1 person or you and 3 people, it's so much easier to become a director today. I cannot tell you how many applications for directorship, we used to have to fill out an application, or fill out paperwork for directorship. How many times I had people fill it out and never could turn it in because they'd recruit one and one would fall off. Recruit one would fall off. Because they had to do the $12.50 in sales. So much easier, you guys. And when I started, I paid $400 for my kit.
Jeez.
$400 in 1986.
Oh my.
Now, I do want to say I put down $100 and they took half of my paycheck until it was paid off. But there was no catalog, you guys. So if you didn't have the products, how in the world could you sell them with no catalog? You guys have got it made in the shade. And I'm not kidding. You got everything. We had no training. There was no training department. There was Doris. There was 3 people at the home office. And trust me, Doris wasn't training. Doris was running a business. We figured it out here. Okay? So I want to, hi Tom. I want to encourage you that anything is possible for you if you do the steps that you need to succeed. Very simple. It's all there for you. PC University is phenomenal. PC team training, the best of the best from the field are teaching you. Because it's easier now, don't let that be an excuse that you can't do it. Right? Put the energy in. Pretend that you've invested $100,000 instead of $1,000. Instead of $159. And do what you would need to do to succeed. And you will never be sorry. Because you know what? Cooking is not going out. There's more and more. Even the news programs have cooking shows and cooking segments on it. People love to cook, and people love to cook together. So have classes, have parties, okay? And do what you know people need. And people are all about the healthy eating. They're all about, the just doing things naturally, okay? So tell them you're happy to teach them how to do that. And pray about your business. I encourage you to watch what happens when you put the Lord first. So God bless you and thank you. I will be doing more calls. I'll probably be doing some calls in September, and I'll do another session for training. But watch for the calls on specific topics, like bookings, post-coaching, all those different things. And I'm also going to be doing some live Facebook things. Because I think people like that too. I know I love the Zoom call because I feel like we're interjecting or interacting with each other. But the Facebook Live I think is fun too. And we'll touch a lot of lives by doing that. So, so God bless you, and thank you for spending these evenings with me. I hope you didn't mind that I canceled last week, but I really thought about it. I said, we can't take that time away from our dads, you know, and from our fathers in the households. So be blessed and keep doing what you know to do. And we're going to keep the Facebook group up so you guys can keep sharing what's working for you. If you have questions, things like that. And I'll make sure when I do the Facebook Lives, I put it there as well. So we touch each other, and make sure you come up to me at conference and say hello, okay?
Nancy Jo, one quick question.
Sure.
Not the last call.
Yeah.
Father's Day. You had mentioned a script that you had, and it was on your PC team training. I couldn't find it.
No.
For like older leads, one of the
Sure.
girls was asking. I couldn't find it on there. Can you post it, or
Yes, I will definitely post
on
it.
the
I will
sweet
make a
on the,
note. I'll make
on
a
the
note right
Facebook
on
page?
here. And I will definitely post that
okay.
so that you can post card follow-up. Okay.
Yeah, it had to do with the older leads that we have.
Sure. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. God
Thank
bless you
you.
guys.
Thank you very much for all your
Thanks,
time.
Nancy Jo.
Thank you. See you at conference.
See you
I can't
conference.
wait.
Okay.